Goldman Sachs has raised their gold target to $2,900 an ounce by early 2025. Call the proud Americans of the Patriot Gold Group today before it's too late. Mention the Still Report, and you'll always get best-in-class service from Patriots Protecting Patriots. Patriot Gold Group has the no fee for life IRA, where your IRA or 401k can be in physical gold and silver on qualifying rollovers. Call 888-869-9656 for a free investor guide today. Patriot Gold Group is Consumer Affairs' top-rated gold IRA dealer 7 years in a row. Call 888-869-9656. Good afternoon. I'm still reporting on Trump. President Trump went back on the stump in Arizona this afternoon at Charlie Kirk's Turning Point American Fest. Trump gave the audience of over 15,000 people a glimpse of what he would be doing on day one of his administration starting on about 2 p.m. on January 20th. Trump's speech took about 90 minutes, but I've condensed it down to about 30 minutes. He says he will get rid of, on day one, the woke agenda, the transgender lunacy, and men playing in women's sports, and so much more. He also announced that he is considering taking back control of the Panama Canal. He also says that he will take back the renaming of major military facilities like Fort Bragg and also Mount McKinley, the name of which was changed.
And we had the highest numbers, and that's why the polls showed us winning, but not winning in a landslide like we did. And we sort of knew that was going to happen. We could tell by the rally size. Look at this. Here we won. There's no reason except celebration, but that's not a bad reason, is it? And look at the crowd. They have 7,000 or 8,000 people standing outside. They can't get in. Would anybody like to give up their seat, please? Huh? And together we won the largest share of African-American voters of any Republican in modern history. Actually, in history. We won more Hispanic-American votes than any Republican ever, and we won the vote. We won the Latino men, but we won half of all voters aged 18 to 29. There's never been anything like that. We won by 36 young people. And we got the highest share of youth vote of any Republican ever before in history. And we had great people. You know, my son Barron said, "Dad, you got to see this one, that one, this one." He said he likes Joe Rogan a lot, too. He said, "You got to see Joe Rogan. Dad, you got to do an interview with these people." And he is a sort of a feel for young people. I guess that's a nice thing to have when you're young. It was amazing. So we got the highest vote ever for a Republican candidate. We won by 36 points with young people. That never happens. A Republican loses by 36 or 40. So I'm going to have to start thinking about TikTok. I think we're going to have to start thinking. Because, you know, we did go on TikTok, and we had a great response. We had billions of views, billions and billions of views. They brought me a chart, and it was a record, and it was so beautiful to see. And as I looked at it, I said, maybe we got to keep this sucker around a little while, you know? And we're going to change it because your border is a disaster. Your border is a disaster, what's going on. And you just have a few days to wait. We're going to be fully operational, I would say, by about 2 o'clock on the 20th. 20th of January. With your help, we gained 23 points with voters under the age of even 25. Think of that. We gained 23 points. And in the election of 2024, our movement not only won a mandate, but we built new American majorities all over the place and will define our country's future. I believe it's going to define our country's future for generations to come. That's going to happen. It's, you know, there's some people called up that are great people, actually. great business leaders called, a lot of them. And some of them weren't exactly on my side, but they're on my side now. But they said there's a light over not only the country right now, but over the entire world. And it is happening. And we want to get some of these wars that would have never happened, like Russia, Ukraine would have never happened. Israel would have never been attacked, would have never happened. We wouldn't have inflation. We wouldn't have had that Afghanistan horror show, that horrible, horrible, the way we left, leaving billions of dollars of equipment behind and 13 soldiers. And, you know, nobody ever mentions, and I mention because I love them, and they're all watching right now. 48 soldiers that were horrifically injured. Nobody ever, they lived, and they don't talk about them, but these are incredible warriors that were hurt so badly with the legs and the arms and the face, and hurt so badly. 48 of them, and we love you. You're listening, and we love you. We're not forgetting you. And for all of us standing before you today, I can proudly proclaim that the golden age of America is upon us. It is. There's a spirit that we have now that we didn't have just a short while ago. Sadly, we didn't have. Well, who the hell can have a spirit? Watching women get beat up in a boxing ring, I don't think that's spirit, right? We're going to end that one quick. We're going to end it very quickly. We're going to end that one very quickly. Since the election, the stock market has broken one record after another. The biggest gain of stock market after an election in history. That's a good sign. In a single month, small business optimism soared 41 points, which is a record. That's a record. Bitcoin has surged to an all-time record high of $108,000. Congratulations. Congratulations. And just last week, in an overwhelming statement of confidence in our leadership, the CEO of SoftBank, a very highly respected man in Asia, Masayoshi Son, you probably saw it, announced that he will be investing, and only because I won the election, he made that clear, only because he has confidence in the United States, between $100 billion and $200 billion. And he's going to be investing. It's equal to about 100,000 jobs at least. And all over the world, people are investing now. They're starting the investments, and it's going to be a beautiful thing with the jobs. But they're calling it the Trump effect because even before taking office, we're already bringing in the jobs and opportunity and safety and common sense back to the USA. We're bringing common sense back. Maybe that's the most important thing. I think common sense is the most important thing, but not only are we seeing it at home, but we're seeing it abroad as well. The European Union is suddenly talking about buying vast quantities of natural, American, beautiful natural gas. Is beautiful, and it's very inexpensive. It's a lot less expensive than windmills all over the place. A lot less expensive. But I've informed Mexico and Canada that they will have to step up and stop the illegal aliens and illegal drugs from pouring into our country. Have to stop. And that goes for the European Union, and it goes for many other places. European Union's treated us very, very badly. We have hundreds of billions of dollars with deficits. They don't take our cars. They don't take our agricultural product, but we take theirs. And they've got to be careful. They can't treat us that way. They're not going to be treating us that way for long, that I can tell you. Because we're not going to let them turn the United States into a dumping ground. We're not going to let it happen. We pay Canada in subsidies and deficits over $150 billion a year. And you say, why are we doing that? Why are we paying Canada $150 billion? Essentially, we're paying Canada, and we love Canada. I have so many friends. I love Canada. I love it. But why are we spending $150 billion on Canada? Yet Canada allows people and drugs to flood in through our northern border. You know, we have a northern border that's not doing so well either. Likewise, people are coming in from Mexico in numbers that have never, ever been seen before. We had 21 million people come in over the past 4 years. Think of that, 21 million people. And you see a lot of these people should not be here. They come from mental institutions and prisons from all over the world, not just South America. Hundreds of thousands more are racing to get across before January 20th. You got to see it. And I was very strong with Mexico. I spoke to the new president, who was a lovely, wonderful woman, and President Sheinbaum, wonderful woman, actually. But I said, you can't do this to our country. We're not going to take it anymore. You can't do it. But I've informed Mexico that it just cannot continue. We're not going to let it continue. The United States has lost 300,000 people a year. Think of that. I don't know. I mean, how many people, everybody you meet said, I lost my daughter, I lost my son to drugs, to fentanyl, mostly to fentanyl, but to drugs. Families are being destroyed, and we're going to stop it. We're not going to let that happen. They're destroying our country. I mean, who would leave? Who would let millions of people pour in from prisons and jails and mental institutions, and I always say insane asylums? We need borders, we need fair elections, and we need a free and fair press. And we're going to try getting all of them. As another example of the things we're doing and looking at, it's such a terrible thing is happening. The Panama Canal is considered a vital national asset for the United States of America due to its critical role, American economy, the whole world economy, and also national security. The Panama Canal. Has anyone ever heard of the Panama Canal? Huh? Because we're being ripped off at the Panama Canal like we're being ripped off everywhere else. A secure Panama Canal is crucial for U.S. commerce and rapid deployment of the Navy from the Atlantic all the way to the Pacific. It's an incredible thing, and drastically cut shipping times down to U.S. ports by days and even weeks. The United States is the #1 user of the Panama Canal, with over 72% of all transits heading to or from U.S. ports. Think of that. So we built it. We're the ones that use it. They gave it away. Considered one of the one of the great wonders of the world. The Panama Canal opened for business 110 years ago and was built at huge cost to the United States, and it really is big when you consider the lives and the treasure, the equivalent of $1.2 trillion today. You don't hear those numbers. 38,000 American men, almost all men, they went there to be construction workers and dig. They were diggers, and they were brave. 38,000 men died from infected mosquitoes in the jungles of Panama during the construction period. Think of that. We lost 38,000 men. Teddy Roosevelt was president of the United States at the time of its building and understood the strength of naval power and trade. When President Jimmy Carter foolishly gave it away for $1. During his term in office, it was solely for Panama to manage and not for China or any other country to manage. You see what's going on there? China. It was likewise not given for Panama to charge the United States, its Navy, and its corporations doing business within our country exorbitant prices and rates of passage, which they do. They charge us like it's a disgrace. Our Navy and commerce have been treated in a very unfair and injudicious way. The fees being charged by Panama are ridiculous, highly unfair, especially knowing the extraordinary generosity that has been bestowed to Panama, I say very foolishly, by the United States. This complete ripoff of our country will immediately stop. It's going to stop. The United States has a big and vested interest in the secure efficient and reliable operation of the Panama Canal. And that was always understood when they gave it to Panama. Can you believe that? We would never have done it if we thought what's happening now can happen, and we would never, and we will never, ever let it fall into the wrong hands. But it's falling into the wrong hands. It was not given for the benefit of others by a token of cooperation, but it was given to Panama and to the people of Panama, but it has provisions. You got to treat us fairly, and they haven't treated us fairly. If the principles, both moral and legal, of this magnanimous gesture of giving are not followed, then we will demand that the Panama Canal be returned to the United States of America in full, quickly, and without question. I'm not going to stand for it. So to the officials of Panama, please be guided accordingly. And we're actually probably wealthiest of any time, relatively speaking, at any point in the history of our country. In the 1890s, we were so wealthy. We had commissions set up what to do with all the money that we were taking in. We had no income tax. We only had tariffs. I consider that to be the most beautiful word in the dictionary. But President McKinley was the president that was responsible for creating a vast sum of money in the United States that Teddy Roosevelt then spent. So let's say they were both excellent presidents, but McKinley did that, and that's one of the reasons that we're going to bring back the name of Mount McKinley, because I think he deserves it. I think he deserves it. There are lots of things we can name, but I think he deserves it. That was not very gracious to somebody that did a good job. And as you know, he was assassinated. He was assassinated. But we're going to do something. We're going to stop looking at all of these horrible foreign wars that we've gotten ourselves through stupidity. We're in wars at countries that nobody ever even heard of before. And we're going to be smart. We're going to be guided by strength. And we're going to have peace through strength like we had. I had no wars other than I wiped out ISIS. We wiped out ISIS in a small fraction. They said it was going to take 5 years. It took 4 weeks. We have a great military, not the ones you see on television, the real generals. Think of it. Think of this. 25 years ago, autism. 1 in 10,000 children. Today, it's 1 in 36 children. Is something wrong? I think so. And Robert and I and all, we're going to figure it out. But did you ever hear numbers like that? Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Likewise, there's been a 25% increase in childhood cancer and a staggering increase in chronic diseases. So together, we're going to make America healthy again. We're going to make America healthy again. Something's happening. Something bad is happening. And to end the weaponization of law enforcement and restore fair, equal, and impartial justice, we will have an outstanding new Attorney General in Pam Bondi. She's fantastic. She is fantastic. Known her a long time. And I'm very pleased to report that Christopher Wray is on his way out. He's resigned. And he will soon be replaced by our next FBI director, somebody who I think is going to be one of the greatest, maybe the greatest director of them all, Kash Patel. I campaigned on an agenda of delivering profound change to Washington, and last month the American people voted for change like they've never voted before, and in overwhelming numbers that nobody saw coming. I saw coming, because I think we all saw coming. When you went to the rallies, you saw that. We'd have, like we had in New Jersey, 107,000 people, and they'd go out the next day and they'd have 30 people, maybe 40 if they were lucky. And then I heard how it was going to be a close race. I said, why is that? Why is that? I don't quite get that. And just as we did 4 years ago, my administration will live by the motto, promises made, promises kept. We did keep our promises. On my first day back in the Oval Office, I will sign a historic slate of executive orders to close our border to illegal aliens and stop the invasion of our country. And on that same day, we will begin the largest deportation operation in American history, larger even than that of President Dwight D. Eisenhower. And as part of Operation Aurora, you know all about Aurora, how horrible that's been. Every single foreign gang and illegal alien member, all of this criminal network operating on American soil will be dismantled, deported, and destroyed. Gonna get them out. Think of it. They sent their gang members to us. Busload after busload. We had an open border. They're gang members, they're drug dealers, they're drug addicts. Every foreign gang member will be expelled, and I will immediately designate the cartels as foreign terrorist organizations. We're going to do it immediately. And we'll unleash the full power of federal law enforcement, ICE, Border Patrol. How good is, by the way, how good is Tom Homan, right? The DEA, the FBI, the intelligence community, and financial sanctions to remove the migrant gangs and criminals that are killing and raping and maiming our citizens. We're going to get them out. We're going to get them out. We're going to get them out fast. We have no choice. We have no choice, by the way. I don't want to do that, but we have no choice. Last thing I want to do could have been so much easier. The election wasn't rigged. It would have been a much different thing. But this will show something. This is going to show how we do it and how good we are. You know, we showed how the opposite philosophy runs a country, and it wasn't good. They had an approval rating today. It was 14%. Nobody's ever had an approval rating of 14. That's the lowest approval rating. And we're going to have a very high, in fact, we already have a very high approval rating. We're way up, way, way, way up, higher than almost anybody, higher than anybody as of this morning. We will end the occupation, and January 20th will truly be Liberation Day in America. Is that okay? Liberation Day. With the stroke of my pen on day one, we're going to stop the transgender lunacy. And I will sign executive orders to end child sexual mutilation, get transgender out of the military and out of our elementary schools and middle schools and high school. And we will keep men out of women's sports. And that will likewise be done on day one. Should I do day one, day two, or day three? How about day one, right? Under the Trump administration, it will be the official policy of the United States government that there are only two genders, male and female. Doesn't sound too complicated, does it? To rescue our economy, I will sign day one orders to end all Biden restrictions on energy production, terminate his insane electric vehicle mandate, cancel his natural gas export ban, reopen Anwar in Alaska, the biggest site potentially anywhere in the world, and declare a national energy emergency. And do we have great people? We're going to have so much oil and gas and other things, you won't know what to do with it. You'll say, please, President Trump, stop. We have too much. The prices are going too low, sir. Remember, we were $1.84 a gallon gasoline. Wouldn't that be nice? I will direct every cabinet secretary to cut 10 old regulations for every new regulation. We'll be getting rid of a lot of. Last term, for me, we did something special. We cut more regulations by 4 times than any other president in history, and we're going to top that record. Some of those ridiculous regulations were immediately put back on, and they were just hurting our country. That's why we had the best job numbers ever, because of what we did with regulation. You know, we cut taxes more than any president in history, and we cut regulations more than any president in history. And when I asked the people that run the big companies, which is more important, cutting the taxes or cutting the regulations? Every single one of them so far has said the regulations were more important for jobs and everything else. Who would think that? But we're going to bring transparency and accountability back to our government, and we'll be very soon, you're going to see it drain the swamp. We're going to be draining that swamp at levels never seen before. And I hope everybody goes home and reads the congressional report on the criminal activities of the Unselect Committee of Political Thugs, J6 Committee. What they did is so illegal, and Congress has done a fantastic job on that. They just put out a report. They call it an interim report. It's brutal. On them, not on me, on them. And it's terrible. What they've done to this country is just absolutely terrible. But we'll end the left's campaign of racial discrimination and restore equality to our land and all over our land. And you see that happening so much with the vote and the kind of vote we got. Nobody ever expected anything like that. And I'll end all of the Marxist diversity, equity, and inclusion policies across the entire federal government immediately. And at the same time, we will ban these unlawful policies from we're going to ban them from the private sector as well. In America, we believe in the merit system, and now because of the major decision handed down recently by the Supreme Court, our country has again gone back to the merit system. That's what made our country great. And I want to just thank the Supreme Court, because that took a great deal of courage for them to do that. And some people were surprised by it, but that's what made us great. Merit made us great. I will direct our military to begin construction of the great Iron Dome missile defense shield, which will be made all in the USA, much of it right here in Arizona. You know, Ronald Reagan wanted to do it many, many years ago, but they didn't really have the technology. It's lucky that he didn't, because they didn't, but they have it now. We can knock a needle out of the sky. And as Commander-in-Chief, I will restore the proud and historic names of our great military bases like Fort Bragg. We're going to get them back. And woke has to stop, because along with everything else, it's destroying our country. We're going to stop woke. Woke is bullshit. As an example, in addition to the military bases, I understand they want to now rename 14 ships. We want to rename them. Some of these ships have had a great and glorious past. They want to take the name off and put another name down. Oh, I can imagine whose name they're going to put up. Not going to happen with me. It's not happening with me, I can promise you that. The actions I have described today are just a small preview of the common sense revolution, because that's what I call it, a common sense revolution that's coming soon to America, to a theater near you, right? But it's coming to you through your president, Donald J. Trump. The people have given us their trust, and in return, we're going to give them the best day one, the biggest first week, and the most extraordinary first 100 days of any president in American history. And in conclusion, on January 20th, the United States will turn the page forever on 4 long, horrible years of failure, incompetence, national decline, and we will inaugurate a new era of peace, prosperity, and national greatness. It's going to be national greatness. It will be something very, very special. And you could use a little of that because you haven't seen any of it in 4 years. What's happened to our country is so sad. We're going to cut your taxes, end inflation, slash your prices, raise your wages, and bring thousands of factories roaring back to America and right back here to Arizona. Because, and I said, I'll get in my plane at 4:45 in the morning and I'll fly here, but we have to really acknowledge and take care of the people of Arizona because you were fantastic. And I just want to thank you for that big win. Not an easy win. And we're going to build American, we're going to buy American, and we will hire American. I will end the war in Ukraine. I will stop the chaos in the Middle East, and I will prevent, I promise, World War III. And we're very close to World War III. We will crush violent crime. We're going to stop violent crime. We're going to have to be tough. Please get ready. You're going to have to be tough. We can't let this happen. Our cities are crumbling. And give our police the support, protection, resources, and respect they so dearly deserve. And I rebuilt our entire military at a level that it had never been. Unfortunately, we gave a big chunk of it to Afghanistan. You believe that one? What a terrible thing. But we will, again, rebuild those sections of our military that have been so badly hurt. Plus, we give so much of it away. You know, when I came in the last time, we had no ammunition. Can you believe it? I was greeted with a general, sir, we're very low, almost no ammunition. I said, keep it quiet. Let's not let the enemy know that. That doesn't sound too good. Steve Bannon would say, that's not a good thing. No ammunition is not good, right, Steve? And I built so much ammunition so fast, nobody's ever seen anything like it. We give a lot of our ammunition away, as you know. And we have to take care of ourselves. We have to protect ourselves. And we have to make our country great. We just can't keep doing what we're doing. Especially when these wars never had to start. They never had to start. We will rebuild our once great cities, including our capital in Washington, D.C., making them safe, clean, and beautiful again, and we'll do it quickly. We'll teach our children to love our country, to honor our history, and to always respect our great American flag. We will get critical race theory and transgender insanity the hell out of our schools, and we're going to get it out of our schools very fast. I will defend religious liberty, I will restore free speech, and I will defend the right to keep and bear arms. And after years of building up foreign nations, defending foreign borders, and protecting foreign lands, we are finally going to build up our country, defend our borders, and protect our citizens. We're going to protect our citizens. And we will stop illegal immigration once and for all. It's going to stop. You're not going to have an invasion of our country any longer. That will stop in just a few very short weeks. We will not be occupied. We will not be overrun. We will not be conquered. We will be a free and proud nation again, a nation led by competent people, a nation that we can be proud of. We're going to be so proud of our nation. We already are. It's already happened. Remember what I said. There's new light all over the world, not just here, all over the world. Everyone will prosper. Every family will thrive. And every day will be filled with opportunity and hope. And will be filled with a thing called the American dream. You can have the American dream back. For the past 9 years, you and I fought side by side against the most sinister and corrupt forces on earth. And in our magnificent victory on November 5th, you showed them once and for all that this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. That's what happened. It was hardworking patriots like you who built this country. And in 2024, it was hardworking patriots like you who turned out and voted and saved our country. That's what happened. After all we have been through together, we now stand on the verge of the 4 greatest years in American history. We're going to make these the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. With your help, we will restore America's promise. We will rebuild the nation that we love, and we will do it very, very fast. That's what we want. We are one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We will never give in. We will never give up. We will never back down, and we will never, ever, ever, ever surrender. Together we will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win. We're going to win a lot. And together we will make America powerful again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you very much. And thank you, Arizona. Happy New Year. Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you all.
I'm still reporting from just outside the citadel of world freedom. Good day.